Hi there, E.A. Tischler here with New Horizons Golf. Today I want to talk to you about your aim and the way you need to imagine your golf shots and how we program that image and how we work on playing our shots more accurately towards our targets. Now, most people are taught to get set up and you're supposed to aim that club face square at your target, set up parallel left of your target, supposed to swing down the line, swing at your target, and everything's supposed to go straight at the target pretty much. Well, the trouble is most people do not play the ball dead straight. And so if you're aiming at the end target and you're swinging towards the end target and that ball is curving, it is curving away from your end target. It's not working towards the target, it's moving away from the target. So what we really need to do is understand that there's a primary target and a secondary target. There's a start direction and an end direction. And so what we really want to do is get focused on looking at our start direction, swinging towards our start direction, creating the type of swing and release we need to get the ball to move away from our start direction and move towards our end direction. All right? And it's a different psychology about how to go about aiming. I find most people's swings get off mainly because they don't aim properly. They're not really looking at it in terms of there's a start line and an end direction. They're really trying to aim directly at their end target and swing directly at their end target, and it just doesn't work that way. And so what we really want to do is understand, where am I starting it? How do I want to move it towards my end direction? And so when I stand behind a hole, so we got number 17 here at Pebble Beach, and obviously we can all see where the flag is. And so what I want to do is imagine the shot that I'm going to play. So if I'm going to play a draw into that flag, I am imagining that shot. And as I imagine that shot, I can see my start direction. If I'm going to play a draw, my start direction has got to be somewhere from this edge of the green to about this bunker right here. So I'm looking somewhere in that window for the amount of draw I'm going to play. And once I've made that decision, I'm going to stick to that start line. And I'm going to focus on that start line as my primary target. I'm going to look there, I'm going to aim there, I'm going to swing there. So for example, if I'm going to play a draw here at 17 at Pebble, I'm looking at that start direction, I'm aiming at that start direction, and now I'm going to make the swing I need to make to draw it back towards the end target. So my ball started in the start direction, is drawing back towards the end target. You know, it may not be perfect. It may be a little right or a little bit left of the target. In this case, it ended up 15 feet left of the target. Now, I've got a 7-iron in my hands. It's a 185-yard shot. 15 feet is very acceptable. So if I'm 15 feet right or 15 feet left, does it really matter? You know, it's a window that I'm looking for. I'm not trying to get it perfectly on target. As a matter of fact, how many shots do you play that you play perfectly on target? How many shots do professionals play where they end up perfectly on target? So we're better off aiming at a start direction, working that ball back towards our end direction, and having an acceptable window or pattern that we're playing it into. And if we're doing that, we're always closing the gap between the start target and the end target. In this particular case, that ball, overdrew just a little, and so actually I guess it ended up 15 feet short of the pin from what it looks like here, but it was drawing right back on target. And I know some players, like Bill Glasson when I was coaching him, that he said that when he actually played a draw and it crossed over the target and ended up just behind the left of the target, that's when he played his best golf. So it's okay for that ball to end up a little left of target, a little right of target. What we're trying to do is narrow the gaps. We're trying to close the gap so that we're actually somewhere between the target and say 15 or 18 feet from the target on a regular basis. And if I can do that with a 7-iron all day long from 185 yards, I'm going to be pretty darn happy. So again, if I'm going to play a draw here, I'm looking out in this area right here. I can see this bunker behind the green. I know if I'm going to draw a little extra, I can start it out here. And by the way, I don't think of that as being right of my end target. I don't look at it that way. I pick that start direction. I actually see the flag as being left of my start direction when I'm playing a draw. So otherwise what happens is people look at that end target and they start thinking, I need to aim right. But now their mind says, I'm aiming to the right, so they try to get the club face to close down back to the end target, and they end up double crossing it being way left, for example. So think of it in terms of start target. That's your real target. That's the one you're looking at. That's the one you're aiming at. That's the one you're swinging towards. That's the one you're releasing it. And the ball is moving towards an end target or an end zone, if you want to think about it that way. So again, I've got my start target in mind. I'm burning my memory banks into that start target. I'm looking there, I'm aiming there, I'm going to swing there, I'm going to go ahead and release it. So once again, I got the ball started out there. It's drawing back towards my end target. Again, pretty good swing there. So that one ended up just a little bit left of target. It's 18 feet from the pin. It's a little past the pin, a little left of the pin. That's kind of like the shot Bill Glasson said he plays when he plays his best golf. Pretty happy with that pattern again if my choice is to go ahead and play a draw here. Now Jack Nicklaus said you stand behind the ball, you draw a line between the ball and the target, you pick a mark on the ground, you aim the club face over there, and that's how you get set up, that's how you aim. I think most people assumed that Jack Nicklaus meant draw a line to the end target. But if he's playing a draw, he was drawing a line out towards his primary target. If he's playing a fade, he's drawing a line out towards his secondary target. And I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions in the game. So we need to learn to change our focus so that we can be better at this. All right, so now what if I want to play a fade into the target? So again, I'm going to stand behind the ball. I'm going to visualize that shot. I'm going to see where that ball needs to start. I'm going to visualize it moving into the target. So now I can see that that ball's got to start somewhere in this window right now. And my goal is just to sort of pick something that stands out in my mind, something that I can really keep burned in my memory bank so I can start the ball there and I can get that ball to work back towards the target. So here we go. Get that start direction in mind. We're looking there, we're aiming there, we're swinging there, and we're going to actually get that ball to fade from our start direction back towards our end direction. That was a pretty good swing that time. Now that ball went pretty straight, and that's okay. If the ball goes actually straight, and I'm aiming there, I'm not going to aim at any trouble. Okay, now that ball went a little bit further than I wanted. I actually switched clubs here. I went to a 6-iron, and I know I'm playing a fade in there right now. And so that ball, even though I didn't fade it in there, that ball went so straight that it wanted to just go a little bit further. If I would have cut that one a little, it would have actually lost a little distance. It would have worked back towards the target a little bit more. So here we go again. We'll be looking at that target, swinging at that target, starting it there, getting that ball to cut back towards our end target. All right, now I overcut it a little bit that time. But that's okay. I'm actually set up in a place right now, or I'm aimed at a primary target that if I do overcut it, it's going to end up over there to the right of the pin on the green. But I got room over there. Since I got room over there, I can have room to play with. All right, so let's get in there again. Look at our primary target, aim at our primary target. We're swinging there, we're releasing it to get that fade. There's a really good one that time. So got that ball on my primary target, fading back to my end target. I'll take that. Well, obviously we've got a pretty tough hole location here. That ball went 181 yards in the air that time, and it's 185 to the pin, and that ball ended up in the sand. So we're actually better off being a little bit long here right now than we are being short. But again, I have that shot working back towards the pin. Now, of course, in this situation, what's the safe play? The safe play is actually playing a draw into that flag like I did earlier, because I got more room to work with over there. Or, if I'm going to play a fade, if anything, making sure I overcut it, so I end up just right of the pin. All right, so we got this 6-iron out, though. See if we can get ourselves to keep it in that window. Get it to carry the bunker, but still work it back towards the flag. So pretty good shot there again. I overcut it a little wide. My mind knows that there's a little more room there. But 9 feet from the flag, carried it 183.8 yards there. So, good shot that time, or went 183.8 yards. All right, let's do this one more time. the system keeps resetting the line there, the aim line, but I got to move that aim line back to where I want to aim it. So here we go. Looking in my start direction, aiming in my start direction, swinging there and releasing it. So again, another good swing that time. That ball went pretty darn straight. And if it goes pretty straight, I'm going to be on the green left of the flag, but it's still in my window again. So we can see when I actually play it straighter and actually it's going a little bit further, guarantees that I carry that bunker there. All right, so let's go back and play a draw again. Switch back to my 7-iron here. So good, now I'm actually looking out there to the right. So again, I don't think of it in terms of right of my end target. I'm just looking at the right side of the green. So to me, I know where the left side of the green and the right side of the green are. I'm looking at the right side of the green, or I'm looking inside the right side of the green, or I'm looking at this bunker behind the green, and that's where I'm looking. That's my start direction. That's where I'm aiming. That's where I'm looking. That's where I'm swinging. And then I just have to put the draw swing on it to get myself to work it back towards the end target. So really good swing. We got it started out in our start window there. We're drawing it back towards the end target. That one worked out great. 6 feet from the pin. We'll take that all day. So when you get out there on the golf course, I want you thinking of it in terms of picking a start direction. And don't think of that start direction as being left or right of your end target. Because if you do that, your mind's going to revert back towards the end target. It's going to manipulate that club face back towards the end target. You want to pick a start direction. You want to be moving the ball, drawing it or fading it off your start direction. And if you start seeing it that way, you're going to start playing it better, and you're going to start scoring a lot better. One last thing, I know with the tour professionals I work with, if they cannot own their start direction, they can't make $1. When they can own their start direction, they're playing great golf and they're making a great living at it.